Welcome back, and education is still very much in our line of vision. This time around, we're reviewing the suspension of the bilateral education agreement by the federal government, which was announced about 2 weeks ago. A government citing the program being a waste of resources. But on the other hand, the students under the program say, hey, we are subsistence students and you need to do right by us. And so if you missed our conversation, by the way, with the Minister of Education held just last week, you can go back and watch that on YouTube to get a more vivid position of the federal government. But we have one of the students joining us on the program today, and of course, a parent of students under the program. So let's welcome Dr. Ihe Sekien, spokesperson, parent of BEA scholars, medical doctor, and former vice chairman, Nigeria Medical Association, FCT chapter, and formerly chief physician to Edo State Governor. Dr. Ihe Sekien joins us from our Abuja studio. He joins us virtually. And also joining us this morning is Dalhatu Tijani, a BEA scholarship beneficiary, coordinator, Union of Bilateral Education Agreements Scholars, ONBS. He's also a final year medical student at Hassan II University, Casablanca, Morocco. He joins us also virtually from Casablanca in Morocco. Dalhatu, for good reason, I'm going to start with you. You are the coordinator of the Union of Bilateral Education Agreement Students. So give us a sense of what your case is, what is being owed you, and perhaps efforts to have an interface with the Ministry of Education back home and what you're hearing. Let's start with that.
All right, thank you so much. Please permit me to use this opportunity to thank you specifically, Madam Nicola, for giving us a listening ear and the whole team of Channels Television. I also want to take a moment to appreciate the federal government who have given us this opportunity, which without it we wouldn't be here today discussing the bilateral education agreement scholarship. So I would love to have like 5 minutes to give an overview, a holistic view of what the scholarship entails so that the whole nation would understand the part of the federal government as well as the parts of the host countries. So the bilateral education agreement, as the name implies, includes Nigeria and other host countries. In this case, we have Morocco, Algeria, Russia, we have China, among other countries. So Nigeria will send scholars to these various countries and then to study different courses such as medicine, nursing, and other engineering courses. These host countries are responsible for the tuition of us, the scholars. They are also responsible for accommodation, and they also give a little stipend every month, as the case may be. It varies from one country to another, while Nigeria is responsible to provide a little stipend to augment feeding, to augment transportation, among other things. So Nigeria is responsible to pay $500 per month to each scholar, as well as $200 for health insurance, that's annually, and a $500 medical allowance to medical students, and then one clothing of $250, among other things. So ever since we left, this scholarship has specific problems. Mostly, we have problems from the part of the Nigerian government in sustaining and paying the $500 per month to each scholars. So this is a persistent issue that predates even this current government. So the host country's responsibilities, to be fair, they have discharged their responsibilities with effectiveness. We have never had a situation where a student will complain that his school fees has not been paid. The school fees are always paid. For the accommodation, most of the countries do provide accommodation, with the exception of Morocco, which did not provide accommodation to scholars. So in Morocco, our scholars have to go and rent. And a survey was done sometimes back in 2020 when I was the president of the student union. We found out that a student pays around $200 to $300 per month on accommodation, electricity bills, among other utilities. So, and that is being paid from the $500 the Nigerian government pays. Also from the host countries, they also provide stipends. And this is to make clarification to the press release by the minister I don't know where the information is coming from, so that you would understand that the countries do not support the students in the same quantity. There are countries that their economy is viable, such as China, Serbia, among others, and then we have countries whose economy is not that viable and do not support students with as much stipends as others. So I will give you this table. In Morocco, a student, a scholar in Morocco, the Moroccan government pays around 120 United States dollars every 2 months. So that is about 60 United States dollars in a month. And in Russia, a student gets about 24 United States dollars monthly. In Algeria, a student gets 70 United States dollars for the whole academic session. And in Venezuela, they do not get anything at all. In Serbia, because they are postgraduate scholars, they get 150 United States dollars monthly, while in China, they get about $410 for master's scholars, and then $480 for PhD scholars. In Hungary, undergraduate and master's scholars get 105 euros monthly, while for PhD students, they get 240 euros monthly. We must emphasize that PhD students have family that they cater for, hence why their money is higher compared to other scholars. So this is to correct the impression that BEA scholars are not living in heaven, as the press release stated by the minister actually stated. Also, the host countries are not also providing health insurance. Only China and Hungary provide health insurance. So every other country has to pay for their own health insurance. Now, the government in the press release of the minister stated that all backlogs have been paid up until December 2024. However, from our records, that is not the case. So the government is still owing scholars 4 months of 2023, which is from September to December. The 8 months of 2023 that was paid from January to August still had a shortfall of about 1,000 United States dollars, which is equivalent to like 2 months. So in 2023, the scholars are still being owed about 6 months, roughly. And in 2024, only at the point of payments, the scholarship board sent us this letter indicate that the payment is going to be reduced by 56%.
All right, Mr.
So
only I see that you have a lot of information to share. We'll come back to you because of time. Let's take it to Dr. Paul. Let's hear your own side of the story as well. I know from the description we have here as a spokesperson of the parents of BEA scholars, a medical director, yes, parent of BEA scholars as well. Maybe, is it the same version of events in this scenario, in that sense? Because we had the Minister of Education made a few remarks about some of these things, and which I'm going to reference based on the new policy of government. But let's hear from you. Dr. Paul, the question is for you. If you can unmute your device so we can hear you. All right, Mr. Dahata, apparently, let's come back to you. And I know that, so some of the things you have listed, we've heard, that's why we allowed you to list them, just so that the people in authorities can, you know, compare notes and look at the books. But since this has happened, how has the student, have they been hanging in? Because there's also right now some review in terms of our national policy called the Nigeria First policy, where some of these scholarships, in that sense, may be reviewed, and it may actually affect scholarship like yours. I'm not talking about those of you who are there already, in the future.
It's actually really suffering, especially, like I said, for the case of Morocco, where we pay rent. I shared some videos to you through your producer to show the devastating state of the students. Landlords are chasing students out of the house. Students are being jam-packed in one apartment that maybe the parents can afford to pay. The dollar to naira exchange rate is no more feasible for our parents to support us. And then the contract that we have also with the government does not allow us or permit us to work. Therefore, we are really, really suffering. And I must appreciate the Nigerian embassy in the various countries who have been supportive of the students. I will give an instance where a student got sick, and then the parents do not have the money to pay for it. It's in Morocco, and the student had a complicated appendix. So the embassy have to lend to the students 10,000 dirhams for him to undertake that operation. And it's a complicated operation. Yes, the parent has to source something to send it. So we do not have health insurance, and then the landlords are on our heads. We're not able to focus on our studies, and we kept pleading and begging with the government. The only way we are able to reach out to the government is through the Director of Federal Scholarship Board. She kept assuring us that the money will be paid, but I suspect to you, the last payments we got was around September, which was basically slashed. And then we had debt of landlord that we use that money to clear. So we're still just struggling and nothing has come up. The minister, we've not been able to speak with him. All that we heard from him is the press release saying that they are cancelling the scholarship, saying that they have paid us till 2024. All efforts to meet him, even from the side of our parents, prove abortive. So we do not even, he is not even engaging us to hear what is our problem and what we expect from the government. With regards to the Nigerian policy, I think we don't have much to say on that regard. All that we are saying is the government should look in our own direction. Since we have an existing contract and we are in these various countries, we are suffering. Landlords look at it. Landlords are chasing us out of our house. People are falling sick and the government is not doing much. So let them try to do right by us. And it raised the question that are they actually cancelling it because it is the Nigerian policy that was adopted just a few days ago, or are they cancelling it because they are not able to sustain the scholars that are there? Why? Because in 2023 we were not paid. In 2024, the money was slashed by 56%. And then in 2025, what we're hearing is that we're cancelling the scholarship. So us that are there, how sure are we that the government is going to continue to fend for us and actually support us? So we're calling on the minister to listen to us. We're calling on the minister to engage us, to speak with our parents and to speak with the scholars union leaders and to look our way in order to solve out these issues and come to the help of and rescue of the students. The scholarship is a very, very important tool. I just see it as an example of a parent and a father. Probably a father say, I don't want to send you to this private school, it's so expensive, so I'm going to switch you to this private school. The child does not have the right to fight the father, and that's our case. So we do not have the right to fight the government on their own decision. However, as patriotic Nigerians, we can advise the government on what we think it is right for them to do. What happens? This scholarship has been in existence since 1970s. What happened to the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and these post countries? What happened when they noticed that Nigerians are no more sending students? So it's actually a bilateral relationship, something, and then the Nigerians were also sending. It's not a waste of resources. Myself, I'm my final year of medicine. Tell what the parent we have, his child is studying medicine in Morocco. We have the likes of Dr. Halima, who's actually doing her internship in Nigerian hospital here in the ABU area. We have nurses. Do we all address those people as waste of resources? And then the international exposure we're getting helps us or places us at a better position to represent Nigeria nationally as well as, yes, sir, we are coming to you. So it gives us the opportunity to represent Nigeria nationally as well as in the global stage. Today we celebrate Dr. Ali Patil because of international exposure, Dr. Onkozi Okonjuela, they all had international exposure, and we feel Nigeria should tap into it. I'm not supporting Nigeria to send students to study English and geography. Definitely I'm not doing so. But I'm calling on Nigeria to review the system so that we can prioritize courses that will be beneficial to Nigeria as a whole and to the students at large.
All right, Dalhatu, of course, you've very well articulated your position and the position of Nigerian students under this program. But it appears as if there must be a communication gap between you and the Ministry of Education, or between you and the Minister of Education himself, because of some of the things that you have said. But we must capture the minister's position, which has been expressed in the statement, as you say, and of course on our own platform only recently. And the minister said when he assumed office, that he was asked to approve 650 million naira for 60 students going to Morocco under the BEA program. And he said he refused, saying that this was unfair to Nigerian students. And in reviewing the program, some of the inconsistencies that he also discovered was that Nigerian students under the program are studying English in Algeria, a French-speaking country, psychology, and other related courses that are better taught in Nigeria. I'm bringing this now to Dr. Paul. I hope that we can get Dr. Paul to respond to this. But if not, Dalhatu, I'd like you to speak to this reservation that the ministry has about the program.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, Dr. Paul is back now. So Dalhatu, let's just take this to Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bukola, for this question, for having me, and good morning to Nigerians. First and foremost, before I come to your question, I want to appreciate the founders of Nigeria who thought it wise that they should give Nigerian students international exposure. Now, basically, as a parent, we understand that the courses for which these students are sent abroad are not courses regularly available in Nigeria. Robotic engineering, aeronautic engineering, some medicine, some various very specialized courses that these students undertake in these various countries. And like the students union president said, the level of support from the host countries is wonderful. Like my daughter, who is studying medicine, her tuition is about 11,600. The host country pays it, dollars, the host country pays it. And at the point of this contract, there was an agreement, a contract agreement, which has been held much in default. And I want to plead with the federal government through the Minister of Education and, of course, to the father of the nation, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, sometimes when policy statements are made, we are sometimes taken aback because we realize that the president we know, a president who came and established NEFONT that did not exist, it means that he is so much interested in the welfare of Nigerian students, be it in Nigeria or in diaspora. I do not contemplate the same president who loved the Nigerian students so much and want to reduce their suffering would suddenly withdraw support for Nigerian students who have been sent abroad to stay as Nigerian ambassadors. Take note that these students are studying in a different language from English language. And so that becomes even an advantage to us as a country. And they come back as professionals in their respective field. They return to Nigeria by the agreement they signed to serve Nigeria as a country. The student representative has already debunked many of those insinuations or the press statements saying that they had been paid. That's not true. My daughter is in Russia. I pay, as I speak to you now, I need to raise 1.6 million naira and send to her for accommodation, which is due. She needs to pay it before the second week of June for the next session. All right. So, and this token, which is huge, that the federal government gives to these students, I am appealing to the Minister of Education and by extension, the father of the nation, to please look at with compassion on these students. And of course, I won't forget that the mother of the nation too, I am sure that they are not even aware of some of these things because what they say is completely different from what some government agents are speaking. I will, for emphasis sake, I will say that a government came and gave us student loan. I don't see that government turning around to starve foreign students. And for the foundation of Nigerians.
All right. All right.
Truth,
please wrap up in 20 seconds.
Are into prostitution. Many female students are into prostitution. Some male students are into drugs right now because they need to survive. And some are in jail. Is that what we want for Nigeria's image? No.
All right. Dr. Paul Ihensekian, thank you so much. And Dalhatu Tijanu. Dr. Paul Ihensekian is a spokesperson, parent of BEA scholars, a medical doctor, and former vice chairman, Nigeria Medical Association. Dalhatu Tijani, who joined us virtually from Morocco, is a BEA scholarship beneficiary, coordinator, Union of Bilateral Education Agreement Scholars on BES. We hope that this has provided a very veritable platform for the Ministry of Education to continue the engagement with the students under the program such that there can be a reconciling of accounts. Thank you so much gentlemen, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And there's more to come on the program. After the break, stay with us for this next conversation on the role of art in national development. We'll be right back.